I am Mendelson Joe. I was born in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, 1944. I make art a lot. Well, there's a lot of happiness that I can have. I guess the best happiness would be is where no one in the world was hurt or tortured, babies didn't starve, evil didn't prevail, and it always does. My greatest fear is humans. Living? Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela is living proof that you can incarcerate, demoralize, and basically effectively marginalize a human being, and yet that human being can come out, triumph, do good, and become a politician that doesn't make me vomit. Self-betrayal. When people aspire to godliness or to an alleged kind of ethic and they show themselves to be hypocrites, that disgusts me. I see it everywhere. It's the fabric of humanity. It's not just us, but it's everybody. And it just means there's no hope unless, of course, women take control. Just to be less of an asshole. Humans are, especially males, destructive, degrading, malicious, malfeasant, deceptive fucks. And that's why the world is all screwed up. And I'm a male, and I would like to try and make it better. My most treasured possession is my health, and that's why I wear the health hat. About buying stamps, because I got a lot to say and I sent it in the mail. Just trying to be useful in a world that urinates on itself. Thank you. The worst lie is always to yourself. That's the first worst. And I have lied when I was younger. I lied more than I lie now. And now I almost never betray myself. But a good friend has been teaching me the sandwich method of delivering the goods, the truth. So rather than say, you look like a piece of shit, I say, you look like a lovely fecal sandwich. What do I consider the most overrated virtue? Well, if it has anything to do with God, that's the biggest con that ever was. So the God con, believing in God or that God will bless us. That's like saying the tooth fairy will give me a cookie. I don't read that well, but I like to look at pictures. So I like to look at bikes, motorcycles. I like to look at certain types of hot rods. I like to look at naked women. I like to look at trees. I like to look at clouds. I like to look at beauty. Beauty turns my crank. Beauty is the healer. Whether I look at it or make it, it's the healer. I've actually been depressed in my life, seriously depressed once. We all try to carve out a niche for ourselves in the apocalypse, and here in Blandlandia, spoiled brat land, we live comfortable little lives unless we're Indians. So, my personal little mental illness, I'd like to keep my mental illness personal. Well, I'm a good example of an introvert who taught himself how to function under these circumstances of being interviewed. I am not by nature this way. I have taught myself, because when you get on a stage and play music for people, they don't want to hear really the songs. They want to be entertained. I'm happy when I'm at peace with the people I love, wherever they and I are, ideally as much as possible. I'd say I have been influenced by courageous people who came before me, and I try sometimes to emulate their courage in a creative way. So that could be a lot of people, but I was thinking of people like Dr. Helen Caldecott, or Lenny Bruce, or Little Richard. Well, I believe most of us are not living up to our sense of expectation of ourselves and of what life could be for us, particularly for men, but not to exclude women. So I would just like to be as useful as possible. And utility is not a dirty word with me. doing a good job, trying to improve things beyond my self-interest. Just when my sweetheart's happy. Well, I'm learning how to play guitar, learning how to paint, learning how to write, learning how to fight. That's it. I'd like to come back as a hug, but only hugging people I like. My motto is, the name of the game ain't schmaltz, it's results.